Welcome to This Week in Wrestling.
Yo, what's up, Hard&Soft Pro Wrestling Podcast Nation? I'm so glad to be here with you. You know the name, Chris, always hard. And I'm going to send it on over to my little brother, always soft.
Randall Pacioli, what up, man?
Randall
Chris, how you doing?
Pacioli. Good, man. How's it going today?
I'm one of these days I'll figure out how to act cool, as you say. He's always soft as shit. And then I can come in and be acting some way, whatever.
One of us has to do it, man.
That's right. I'll figure it out.
Hey, this is This Week in Wrestling, Vol.4. So, like we always do, we're going to go through the notes here. We got some stuff on Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown. We pretty much just do the three major shows. If anything kind of crazy happens on the other two shows, I'll bring it up. But really nothing really happened. Actually, with the hurricane going on, a lot of superstars weren't able to make it. So Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown actually had to do a lot of rearranging in their shows for the people that were stuck in Florida and couldn't get out there. So I'll go ahead and start us off with Monday Night Raw if you're ready, Randall.
I'm ready, bro.
All right, here we go, man. So Raw started off with a hit, man. We had Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka coming down to the ring. They were quickly interrupted by Damage Control. And this all basically led to the match between Bianca Belair and Bayley at Extreme Rules being declared a ladder match, which, I mean, I'll take it. It's pretty cool. Throughout the thread of this week with Raw and SmackDown, you'll kind of see how Extreme Rules, they're kind of making every match is extreme, but they're making a different stipulation to every match too, which is kind of cool. So you'll kind of see that going along here. I mean, you have anything to add on? Were you excited about Damage Control coming out? And
Not necessarily. I mean, but I am psyched, like you said. They're doing a good job making Extreme Rules all stipulation type matches. I think that's cool. Why not? I mean, I don't dig the Hell in the Cell pay-per-views that are called Hell in a Cell, and there's maybe one or two Hell in a Cell matches. I don't know. Or like the TLCs that they do, and there's one TLC match. It's just I like that if it's going to be an Extreme Rules pay-per-view in Philadelphia, and tickets are only $40, Chris, if you'd still want to hit me up for that. Every match is a stip, so that's cool.
I am coming up on Saturday, so I don't know. So next we had Rey backstage, and Rey Mysterio is basically just saying he's not going to fight his son. You know, kind of like the Undertaker Kane storyline. When Kane first came out, Undertaker didn't want to fight his brother. So, Rey's doesn't want to fight his son. So he's probably going to go through everybody else at Judgment Day until he gets to Dominic. And I'd like if they actually made this play out until WrestleMania, maybe. So maybe WrestleMania would be Rey versus Dominic.
That's clearly where we're going. Rey Mysterio versus son Dominic. Who knows when we'll get it, Chris? Yeah, but they're building it, to a point where we might be invested. They're doing a good job getting us invested in that story, and who knows? Maybe that match will be a good one.
Yeah, I think so, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if it'll be as good as
I want to say.
As good as Undertaker and Kane, the greatest wrestling story of all time, but we'll see.
Well, I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Next, we actually had Rey Mysterio going against Seth Rollins. Dominic was outside on the outside of the ring here. So before the match, Rollins cuts a promo talking about Riddle and cutting down Rey as well, saying about how he's going to beat him in the fight pit this Sunday, or I think it's Saturday actually at Extreme Rules. And during the entrance of this match, there was a QR code that was shown that led to another cryptic video of this white rabbit. Plus, there had a bunch of references to other superstars than Bray Wyatt, so it's kind of like they're throwing out it could be different people. So it's like one thing led to a label in Corbin, Kentucky, which is like, okay, what if it's Baron Corbin? That would be pretty horrible. And then like another video led to like Wyndham, Maine. So that would be like Bray Wyatt. But then like another thing led you to Aleister Black lyrics. So not really sure where this is all going, but it's most likely Bray Wyatt. And but it's definitely pretty cool what they're doing here. What do you think about that? Do you think it could be anybody else besides Bray Wyatt, or do you think it's?
I think at the end of it, it's going to be definitely be revealed as Bray Wyatt is the puppet master of whatever is going on here. Whether or not there's other people involved, and whether or not when he does make his return, it'll be just Bray or it'll be some kind of new faction. We'll have to wait and see that. But I think what they're doing right now is really, really cool. Everybody's talking about it. And I was even listening to Seth Rollins, another dude that I'm waiting for his time to be the man. Him and Ariel Helwani, they had a podcast, and Seth was talking about that he wants another shot at Bray Wyatt whenever he comes back.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna be the hottest name in wrestling when he does show up finally. And everyone is guessing, what it's gonna look like and who it's gonna be. So I think it's really cool.
And if we don't go to Extreme Rules and he comes back at Extreme Rules, that would be pretty upsetting.
I'll hate you forever.
But anyway, Seth Rollins was able to win this match. There was a lot of outside interference from Judgment Day, of course. So good match though. Gets Rollins another victory going into Extreme Rules here. Next we had Gargano and Kevin Owens versus the Alpha Academy. I mean, we kind of know who's going to win this. So Theory tried to come in and cause a distraction to give Alpha Academy the win, but that did not work. Kevin Owens and Gargano were still able to get the victory. So just kind of continuing the thread here with the whole Gargano, Theory, Kevin Owens storyline. Also, we had Balor backstage again asking AJ Styles to join Judgment Day since they were friends, Bullet Club, I guess, from New Japan Wrestling, stuff like that. They have a past and everything, but AJ Styles is still saying no. I mean, do you think AJ Styles will join?
I don't know. I like the fact that AJ is getting used. He's a great talent, obviously one of the best in the world still, and his clock is running as he's getting up there in age. So him and Finn Balor, two great talents, and I think that they should be utilized in some sort of story. So I dig that they are. And another thing about that is, like, I think in years past we watched Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns, and there was just so much filler and just like matches for matches. I think now we're getting back into everything. Every minute of that show of their product is a story, and I think that's how it should be. And I think that's why the Attitude Era was so great back in the day, right? Everyone had a story, and I like that we're getting back in there.
Yeah, we need that. So throughout the show, we had The Miz being shown with a bunch of security guards, and he was, making sure to let them know, come on, you need to protect me. There's going to be a, famous life ahead of you if you make sure that I'm safe from Dexter Lumis. So up to this point, Dexter Lumis is nowhere to be seen, but the Miz's security guards are all laid out, and Dexter Lumis comes up in a hockey outfit and takes out the Miz again. So, I mean, it's definitely a good little thread for this storyline. I do like this storyline. I'm ready to see where it's going. And then we actually had Candice LeRae come back to face Nikki A.S.H., the superhero. And I know there's like a lot of stuff going on where, I really don't like that superhero gimmick anyway, so she really needs to drop that. But there's all these little hints where she is. So, like, after the match she lost, she actually takes the mask off and threw it. So I'm not sure if that means that she's going to go back to the crazy Nikki Ash, but we'll see. I mean, it is what it is. Good to see Candice LeRae come back and make a return. So we had AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa was on the outside. This is actually a really good match. Sami got the win, and there was a lot of outside interference. Judgment Day came out. They're still trying to get AJ to join. Finn Balor throws up the Too Sweet, but AJ Styles hits him with the Austin, F you, don't want to join. So the Judgment Day beats him down, and they actually get him locked in a chair, and they're going to, like, stomp on the chair here. But Finn Balor tells him to knock it off because of their past relationship. So he's trying to show compassion to AJ Styles and let him know, hey, we are still here for you. So, I mean, good match and good storyline going on here.
Yeah, that stuff was well done.
Yeah. So the main event here, we had Damian Priest going against Riddle. Great match. And Riddle, even though he had distractions from the Judgment Day again, I mean, Judgment Day has been all over this show from start to finish, basically. And even with all the distractions, Riddle was still able to get the win somehow. So, I mean, he looks good going into Extreme Rules. Then they start beating him down, and who comes out but Edge? Comes out to save the day. And, fights them all off, whatever. And he challenges Finn Balor to an I Quit match at Extreme Rules. Like I was saying, how they're making all the matches into stipulations. So here's an I Quit match coming up for Extreme Rules.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Edge is such a great talent. Anything he does on that microphone is going to get over. And him and Finn Balor in the main event, I would assume that would be probably the co-main. I'm probably going to put Ronda and Liv Morgan as the main event just because it's for a title. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, could be. But that was basically Raw right there. Good Raw. So on to Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Yeah,
so
I think before we get there, Chris, sorry.
Yeah.
One thing just to point out. I think it's cool that both TV shows on the WWE are pretty heavily dominated by factions again, which is something that I don't think Vince always did, or Vince always digged tag teams that much or nothing like that. So you got the Usos and the Bloodline on SmackDown, and you got the Judgment Day on Raw, and I think that's cool.
And it's nice seeing factions with more than like 3 people in it.
Yeah,
we're starting to see factions with 4 to 5 people in it, factions that are getting bigger and bigger, which is pretty cool because we haven't seen that in so long in WWE.
Nice. And the stories are pretty diverse with all the different members, and it's cool. Yeah, you're right.
Definitely.
You're damn right.
You're damn right. He's gonna puke. So, Dynamite starts off with the Jericho Appreciation Society celebration for Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor title. They all come out wearing purple outfits, so it looks great. They're loving Jericho, their man, their Ocho, and Jericho says that a sports entertainer will always beat a wrestler. I love that Jericho says this. I mean, it's just so good. It is so good that he's saying that stuff, like, because the Ring of Honor people are like just pure wrestling, nothing but wrestling action. And here's Chris Jericho coming in just saying, no, what it takes is sports entertainment. And he tries to give Garcia.
Dude, I think what AEW did on Dynamite this week, let me get my bag of dicks out. Okay, I'll put my big bag of dicks right here. Okay. And every time I don't like a segment, I'm going to take a dick out because that's what AEW did. They blew all the dicks in all the bags of dicks. This show was freaking terrible. I hated almost every second of it, but not the beginning here with Jericho. This was good stuff.
You did like the Jericho
segment. The dicks are staying in the bag right now.
For now.
Okay, for now.
Well, Jericho tried to give Garcia the hat, and I guess there was some guy out there, this pizza guy, Luigi the pizza guy. So,
I was watching it with my girlfriend Kate, and she's like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I can't."
Garcia doesn't want the hat. He throws it down, and then he beats up the pizza guy. So, I mean, good segment. I'm glad that you actually like this one.
Yeah, I did. I agree with you, Chris. I dig the sports entertainment versus pro wrestling, and that he's Jericho is the head of the Appreciation Society, and he's the head of the title holder of Ring of Honor, which is the biggest professional wrestling. I like that. I think it's awesome. Something I'd like to see them do, because one of the members of the JAS gets on the mic and goes, "Philadelphia, acknowledge us," or something along the lines of that. And he calls it the AEW Galaxy instead of the WWE Universe. I like that. I wish I don't know if they could do this, But I would like for Jericho to come out and do exactly what Roman and the Usos did the Friday before. Like they just like parody the whole segment, almost like the BWO NWO. I think that would be fun. I don't know.
Oh man, well that would have been funny if they actually would have done that. Like Garcia would have they would have made him do something with the hat and throw him the hat, kind of like they did with Sammy. But
one thing about this segment, and I think AEW as a whole has a problem with this, like they have things they could do in 5 minutes and they take 12 minutes. It's just everything goes too long, man.
It didn't need to be that long.
But at the same token, I would 100% rather unscripted promos over scripted stuff. I think scripted sucks. So I'd rather it unscripted, but I wish they could like dial it in a little bit.
Well, next we had Danielson come down to interrupt, and this all led to a match between Danielson and Matt Menard. I mean, I could care less about Matt Menard, but definitely a decent match. And
this was good.
But Claudio comes down, I guess, at the end to even the odds and everything like that. But good match, good segment. Yeah. So we'll have to take what we can get here.
It was the dicks are staying in the bag so far.
Oh, good. Well, I think they'll stay there because next we had an MJF segment, but it was quickly hijacked by Wheeler Yuta, and Yuta was pissed because MJF shoved Shivani last week, and he says that Shivani has done more for AEW than MJF has, and so they're kind of just going back and forth with the mic here. Good promo from MJF for sure. So
yeah, Yuta's the hometown guy, so I know why they're doing that, right? He's the Philadelphia guy, I think. The crowd pop for him, and Yuta holds his own on the mic. I mean, you can tell that he's new at it, but he does well. One thing I'd like that they could have done a lot better, right? MJF comes back, and he's the new leader of the Firm faction. I would have liked for Yuta to go on and challenge MJF to a match, and I'd like to see MJF like take his shirt off, do the whole thing, and right as he's approaching the ring to actually accept Yuta's match offer, have the Firm come in and just put the boots on Yuta. I mean, that builds heat, and the whole crowd would have started completely shitting on it in a good way. So I think they could have done better here, but it was okay.
And they're going to need to start building up some good heat on MJF because people are going to start cheering for him pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out to a bunch of cheers. Right. Yeah. He's almost like the Stone Cold character. And I should pump my brakes a little on saying that, but he's almost like that Stone Cold heel that when he comes out and says, F you, I hate you all, you're all smelly fat pigs. That's what the crowd wants to hear,
Yeah, people love it. So next, we had a match between Moxley and Juice Robinson.
Okay, bag of dicks. The dicks are coming.
I mean, here we go. But this may have been because of the flights and people not being able to get into Philadelphia and stuff like that for this match because a lot of the AEW talent lives in Florida. So, but MJF was watching from the luxury box with his chip, of course. Moxley wins, of course. It's Juice Robinson. Come on. And Hangman Adam Page comes down for the stare down. I really don't think they're going to do anything with Hangman Adam Page. It really is just like pretty much basically just to get Moxley on the show, get him a win over somebody that the internet fans love, I guess, Juice Robinson. But he doesn't really impress me too much.
Yeah. And I don't understand. I know AEW, and I'm a big sourpuss today, aren't I? I mean, I don't know why. But I don't know why AEW needs to put a world title match on every week. Like, I get it. They only have 4 pay-per-views a year, something like that. They're a television-based wrestling company. I get that. But, I mean, just have Moxley cut promos and have Moxley and MJF cut promos. And then they let Wheeler Yuta get to MJF up in the press box. Like, no one should touch MJF until he's gonna finally get in the ring. They chased the pop, man. They just wanted that pop. Like, I didn't like it. All the dicks.
Yeah, because he's up there. The match sucked. Come cash in the chip, and then like you said, Yuta comes in and takes him down. So it's like definitely not what I wanted to see at the end of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I love Moxley, but I think I even texted you that night, and I was like, this match blows. And
Yeah.
and you're like, can't wait for this week in wrestling. So here we are.
Yeah. So next we had Saraya coming out and
Terrible. Absolutely
cutting a
terrible.
promo. And this was actually, I mean, I guess it is what it is. It's good to see Paige back on TV.
Her
I
debut
really-
was cool. Her debut
Yeah.
was super cool.
I really hope that she's able to wrestle and that she's coming back to wrestle and not just to be, cutting promos and trying to boost the women's division, on the mic or something like that, because I don't think that's really that's not really gonna help, because then Britt Baker comes down to interrupt this match and it leads into a match with Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm. I mean,
It was
I
bad.
could really care less. Yeah, really
Britt
not
Baker
good. And it was
came
a
down.
lumberjack match too.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean,
Britt came down and tried to do everything she could to kind of save this segment. One thing she did say, which I think she might have been throwing some shade at Punk, was we've seen the new shiny toys come and we've certainly seen them go. And she had she rolled her eyes. I think that was like a shot at Punk probably. But I don't know. Saraya just wasn't great on the mic here. I think she said Britt rhymes with shit, and it was just bad. It was just cringy.
and aren't they bleeping out the
Yeah.
words on Dynamite now? Because before they were like that was their thing.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Now it's
Yeah,
like,
MJF
now they're
said-
bleeping them out.
Fire me, Tony, you fucking mark. And now we have to bleep shit out. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Maybe we'll have to start bleeping it on the Hard and Soft podcast.
I hope not.
Yeah.
So Chris Jericho, I'm glad that we're getting to see Chris Jericho in the ring, but he's going against Bandito,
Bandito.
who is a former Ring of Honor champion. So who cares? I like the fact that Jericho's on there, but like you said, we don't need title matches. We don't need the champions to be wrestling on every
Yeah.
Dynamite. And you know what? Ring of Honor has their own show. Why is it that every week we need to see the Ring of Honor title on TV? I don't care about Ring of Honor. So if I like Dynamite and I don't care about Ring of Honor, I'm going to change the channel during this match, and you're not going to get me to come back then. I really think they need to split the shows up.
I agree with that, Chris. I think they could do. I think the Ring of Honor, that brand, has legs to it. I think they could make it its own show, man. Put it on like a Saturday night, every Saturday night, or something. Or
And
I
if
don't
they
know.
want, and if they want
Just for an
Jericho
hour.
to be the Ring of Honor champion, then
Yeah.
have him not be on Dynamite. Then put
They
him
need
on
to-
the Ring of Honor show, and
Right.
that'll make people go watch it.
Right. And Jericho, look, man, Jericho's getting older. Like, they need to figure out a way to keep Jericho on the show where he doesn't have to go out and take these crazy. They did that spot off the top rope, like the rolling whatever, and Jericho takes a nasty bump. Like, he doesn't need to be taking these big bumps every week. Like, he's not a young dude. I think Tony tries to book for the smart fans, like the smart marks. That's who he's booking for, and I don't like that. Like,
It's like he's booking for himself. He has a big room full of wrestling figures, and he's like, "Oh, I want to see this match tonight. Boom, here, put him here. Oh no, I don't want to see this. I want to see this match tonight. Boom, put him here."
right. Wrestling's
it's
about
just-
the stories and the characters. If I watch two dudes go out and have a 5-star match, and I have no clue what their characters are, and I'm not invested in their story, I'm not going to want to come back next week and watch their match again. And I
No.
won't remember their names.
I don't want to see Bandito ever again on my TV screen.
Right. But I
That's
could
for sure.
watch a Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock match. Even if it's a shitty match, I'll always tune in to watch that. Because there's whatever. Anyway, the bag
show
of dicks is
ended-
open.
The
It's
show
all
ended with Jericho challenging Danielson and says that he's going to destroy everybody in the Ring of Honor, even the announcers, and then he takes out an announcer to end the show. I mean, it's just, I didn't like the way the show ended either. It's just, I get it, with Jericho and stuff, but as much as I like Jericho, I'm like, come on, you're going to destroy everybody and even the announcers. It's just like, it's just whatever. The whole end of the show was all about Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
And I was there to watch Dynamite.
right. Jericho gets great heat. I love what he does. He's so good. But you're right. It was kind of just like whatever.
So let's get away from Dynamite and head to SmackDown, which was a decent show. I'd probably say the best show of the week. out of the three of these shows. So we start off with the tag match. It was Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa. I like Solo Sikoa, man. I haven't seen him much in NXT, but now that he's having some matches, he's like a young Samoa Joe type wrestler. I like that. And they went against Ricochet and Madcap Moss. I mean, so you know who's getting the win here. The Bloodline get the win, and after the match, Jey Uso confronts Sami Zayn. So he's like walking backstage trying to get into the locker room here, and Jey Uso lets Solo in, and he's trying to block Sami Zayn from getting in, and Sami Zayn's like, hey, if you have a problem with it, you can take it up with Roman, but I need to get in our locker room. So Jey has to let him in. So it's just the storyline just continuing and continuing and continuing, which I like the Bloodline storyline, and Sami Zayn's doing a great job with him.
Yeah, Sammy's ultra talented. I think he was big time on the independents, and then in NXT, him and Kevin Owens really had a tremendous rivalry there. And I don't think since then he's been much of anything on the WWE's TV show. But now he's certainly getting his turn, and he's running with it.
Yeah, he really is. Next, we had an awesome promo, not like a backstage, but just like a cutscene promo with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, just saying that he's going to beat Drew, and then he's going to move on to the WWE Universal Unified title. And the promo was awesome. It was like all these cutscenes and him and Scarlett standing there. I mean, I can't tell you, the combination with Karrion Kross and then putting Scarlett with her. I don't know why they took Scarlett away from him when they brought him up the first time, because she adds so much to the gimmick here. And like I said, just great promo. Just talk about how he's going to take Drew out and then move on to the title. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, the WWE does a great job with their production. Always have, always will.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
Here.
And so then, backstage, Theory's cutting a promo about how Drew McIntyre keeps losing and he sucks and this and that. And Drew McIntyre comes out from behind and challenges him to a match right now. So, that was kind of corny, but whatever. So it led to a match between Theory and Drew McIntyre. During the match, there was some outside interference with Alpha Academy. Since on Monday Night Raw, Theory tried to help with them in their match. Friday, they tried to come out and help him in their match. It all led to just like a big schmoz. We had Kevin Owens come down, Johnny Gargano come down, which led to a great main event. It was a 3-way tag match with Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano versus Austin Theory and the Alpha Academy. So that was going to be the main event. So, decent match, I guess they're just trying to get everybody out there on the main event, but it is what it is.
Yeah, good show. I do wish that they promoted or continued the storyline with Logan Paul and Roman. Not really sure why they didn't.
I think next week, Roman and Logan are both going to be on SmackDown.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's a scheduling thing, or the fact that main event already has money in it. It's, people will pay to see that match regardless.
They barely need to promote it, but I'm sure they're going to. And, people were still having issues flying out on Friday, too. So that was definitely a thread throughout this week. But then we had Ronda Rousey going against Natalya. I must say, I love Natalya, man. I have a thing, if she's out there in the ring, I could definitely watch an Natalya match. But she always loses. So, I figured Rousey was going to beat her going into Extreme Rules, trying to get the wins on her,
I hate Natalya.
What? And you wonder why we call you soft.
Dude, is it because it's Bret Hart? It's Bret Hart.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, with you.
I don't know. I just like.
Speaking of Bret Hart, dude, that title behind your left shoulder looks great. The old winged eagle.
The best title out there. So Liv Morgan came out after the match, and she comes down with the kendo. Oh no, she had a baseball bat. She comes down with the bat, and her and Rousey get into a big fight. It keeps going back and forth, but in the end, Ronda Rousey is basically getting walked off by the security guards, and that should be a good match. And like you said, that might be the main event. And I expect them, if that is the main event, that they're going to put on a good match. I think Liv Morgan's getting a little bit better in the ring, and but I'm still not excited for it. So, definitely,
yeah. Maybe it's because Ronda is over in my mind ever since all the stuff she did in the UFC. But I like Ronda, and I think Liv Morgan is doing well. I'm excited for hopefully Charlotte Flair to come back soon. I want to see that return. And
maybe
don't
she's
quote
the
me.
White Rabbit.
She could. That's a good point. It's a good point.
I doubt it.
She's going to come back as a heel, dude. She's gotta. And don't quote me on this, Chris, and I might be getting ahead of myself, but at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia, the women's match, I think they're going to bring a little something special. We might see a little flaming table action. I don't know why I see that coming, and I don't know why I'm even saying that, but if it happens,
I don't want you to get too excited here. Backstage, then we had a good backstage spot. Sammy Owens is standing there, or
Sammy Owens.
Yeah,
Brian
Sami
Danielson.
Zayn is standing there, and he's got his "We the One" shirt on, and
so good.
Kevin Owens walks by, just looks him up and down, like, "You need a new shirt," and just walks off. Just a great little spot. I know that eventually the Sami Zayn and Bloodline thing's gonna break up, and either he's gonna help Kevin Owens, or maybe he's gonna go just take Kevin Owens out for good and stay with the Bloodline. I'm not sure, but I like the way they're doing this. You know what I mean? Little interactions here and there.
There's some foreshadowing there. I think that's cool, letting us know that we're going to get Sammy and Kevin Owens at some point here.
Yeah. So Imperium comes down, and they're talking about how at Extreme Rules they're going to beat the Brutes. So it's going to be Imperium a 3-way tag match against Sheamus and the Brutes. So during this, Sheamus comes out. He's by himself. The Brutes couldn't make it tonight. And he comes down. He's like, yeah, well, I'll just beat all three of you. So he comes down with the shillelagh.
The shillelagh.
Good old shillelagh.
The big, great white fella.
And he comes down, and he starts beating him up for a minute. And Imperium gets the best of him. They beat him down real bad. And they're walking off, and Sheamus gets back on the mic, and he's laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Is that all you got, fella? And they come back down, beat the crap out of him again, and that's kind of how the segment ended. Good segment. Hold on a second. Shout out to my boy Reese. He was over at AEW Dynamite this week in Philadelphia. Forgot to shout him out during the Dynamite section.
Hell yeah, man!
Always good to see Reese out at the events in Philadelphia. Next, we had Bayley.
I wonder if he thought
Shotzi Blackheart.
I wonder if he thought all the bags of dicks were being blown that night too, like me.
I don't know. Maybe when you're there live, it's better than
it's different,
when you're actually watching on TV, because you're hearing everything. You know what I mean? You're actually there for the action. So
I think they book. Here we go again. I'm getting back on my thing here, but I think they book for the live crowd, and I get that, and in some respects I like that, but still, like, I don't know, make your TV show better.
The TV show.
Yeah.
Like I said, Bayley beat Shotzi Blackheart, just getting her another win before Extreme Rules. Something I really don't. This Maximum Male Models had a big thread throughout the whole night. Doing this stupid pose and this and that, and what's his name? Max Dupree. He takes off the belt, he throws it. So I think he's gonna leave Maximum Male Models. I know, like, back on the Indies, he was known as like LA Knight. And I know people wanted to go back to that persona. So I think maybe this is getting him away from the Maximum Male Models and kind of maybe going back to his old gimmick. So I don't know. I never really saw the LA Knight thing personally, so I don't really know much about that, but we'll see. So that basically led us to the main event, which was Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Gargano versus Alpha Academy and Austin Theory. Decent match. Drew ends up getting the win over Theory. So he gets his revenge on Theory, talking crap on him earlier in the night, hits him with the 1, 2, 3, the Claymore, and boom, lights out. So, like I said, decent show, decent week in wrestling. Nothing crazy happening, but we do have a pay-per-view coming up soon. So, I'm just glad that you guys were here joining us and watching along with us.
Yeah, and I do believe on Friday night they did continue the Bray Wyatt saga a little bit, right? They did a fan coming over with a sign, and it said "Revel in what you are" or something like that, which is a quote from Bray.
So and then I think they continuing that
they had some cutscene, correct, with like the big bad wolf type thing,
And
and
like the Three Little Pigs.
the Three Little Pigs, and I think there was actually Morse code throughout that whole segment, and I saw a video depicting what Morse code, what it was saying in Morse code, and when you look into it, it actually says "Let me in." So that is
Imagine.
badass, dude. That is
I
badass.
I wouldn't even mind if he doesn't come back as the Fiend. If he just comes
I think
back
it's going to
as,
be
like,
something
Bray
different.
Wyatt,
Yeah,
and maybe even come out like and explain like how they ruined his character. You know, like
yeah.
he's coming back just as himself, Bray Wyatt. I don't know
There's
though. I'm not sure
there's
what they're
plenty of
gonna do.
avenues they could go. I've seen a bunch of like the White Rabbit costume gimmick, and then I've seen some even now like the Big Bad Wolf kind of gimmick thing. Whatever they do, even if he's multiple characters, let that guy go, and uh, you
It's
know,
just cool that they have us guessing right now.
yeah, it is.
We don't actually know what's gonna happen, which is freaking cool. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Heck yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for watching with us, guys. Shout out to everybody in the Hard and Soft Pro Wrestling Podcast Nation. I'm glad
Shout
you're
out to
here.
the nation.
Shout out to the nation. And, like I always say, if you're not hard, you're soft.
You're damn right, Chris.